Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm just at Westwood Lock again. I'm not down here volunteering today, but there's more restoration work going on down here. We've got the digger again in the lock, clearing some more of the mud. They're starting to get to a point now where they're actually going to struggle to use the big digger, because basically they've got, just behind it there is almost a vertical edge where they've dug out, and they're coming into here now. So you can see they're clearing the top a little bit. They get as much done as they can before they take the digger out, and then they use a smaller digger to get back into here. On the other side there is a smaller digger that's been working underneath and clearing more of it, so there is going to be a channel through. There's quite a bit to go down here still, probably another 4 foot. They haven't really found a lot, they're just making a track at the moment just so the work can carry on here. So there's some more land clearance being done over here as well. So at some point this stream is going to have to be culverted, so the canal can go over the top of it. So they build a culvert or an aqueduct just to get across there, but they can't do that with that land as it is. They need that clear. So it is cleared for a reason. It's not just being cleared for the sake of it. The planting and stuff that will go on when it's all done and clear will far surpass the amount of trees that have been lost. So I didn't get any footage of the side when I was down here last. So this is the old canal line run through here. You can just see here the land that's been dug over this side is for the Forest Green Rovers. They're building a stadium across the other side of the, I think it's the A419 over there, and this is a training pitch which is going to go down onto this side as well. The canal, like I said, used to run through here. It's now going to run across this field here where they're dumping at the moment. There's going to be a large turning circle here basically. So, you know, the bigger boats can get through. There might be some mooring here, I'm not too sure. There is another lock, and it's going to go down into the river and under the M5, come back out on another lock onto the A38 roundabout. You can just see here though, they're clearing on the top of a towpath there. You can see how much further it's got to come down. So the bridge was built about 60 years after the lock, so it's a little bit different to some of the others in the way it's laid out. But you can just see the wall there now, just at the bottom. So there's not much more that can be done on this side now. You can see it's quite steep. There's a stone they're trying to get out in the bottom there, and then they're going to start digging on the other side and eventually move through with a digger from under the bridge. You can kind of see the marks on there where it was beginning of the week, a few weekends ago. So they dug well over half out now. Just done a pretty steep towpath. Just see this wall down here. Day 2 now. I've come down again this afternoon just to do some filming. I'm not volunteering on this one, as I said before. Well, I left about, I don't know, roughly about 1 o'clock yesterday. There was still quite a big mound in the middle of the lock, and they just started to discover one of the walls underneath the bridge. So as you can see, it's come on quite a lot. The digger now can't sit in the middle like it was before, so it's digging from the edge, just getting as much out as it can before they start basically bringing a digger from underneath. Here we are under the bridge. It looks a heck of a lot bigger than it did. I mean, if you look at some old pictures, it was filled to the top of the lock, so hardly any of the bridge was clear. But they've done some serious digging here now. You can see they've exposed the wall on the other side of the bridge here, as well as more of this one. So the old towpath would have run across there. You can see how much earth is on top of it here before you even get to the edges. One of the chaps there was just clearing the where the lock gates would sit. So digging in this area, they're obviously going to find parts of the lock. You can see a couple of bits in there still to be dug out, but we've got some more parts here. You can see there, look, where bolts would have gone through. It's quite nice. And this is the actual main sort of part of the lock. That's the rounded bit which would have gone in the corner. So that would have been up against the wall and be where it swung. There's also a bit of metal work here as well. Should have come off of them.
Yeah, I'm John Pontefract. I'm the volunteer manager for the Cotswold Canals Connected Partnership, which is the grouping of the various bodies involved in the restoration of the Cotswold Canals. What we're doing here is uncovering Westfield Lock, as it was known, now to be known as John Robinson Lock. I'll explain a bit about that later. And it was filled in the 1970s when they built the M5 behind me. They filled in the lock, they filled in the canal that runs behind this bridge, Westfield Bridge, and they carved a new route for a stream round the top end of the lock, which has ended up with part of the lock being missing. So what we're doing over a series of weekends with the Waterways Recovery Group, volunteers from the Waterways Recovery Group, they're canal restoration volunteers, generally very experienced, is digging out the lock. We knew roughly where it was, we knew the layout of the lock, and so it was a case of finding the tops of the walls and then gradually going in with big equipment, which you'll have seen, to remove the spoil, the earth, clay and silt that they used to infill the already silted up lock. The plans are, once we've got all of the spoil out of the lock chamber, is to clean the bottom of the lock, which is a shallow brick arch, and then scaffold out the entire lock, coming up to the tops of the brick walls and removing any damaged or loose bricks, and then starting to rebuild on top of the sound walls till we get up to a point where we can put back the coping stones which we've been fishing out of the lock. I reckon we've got about 90% of the coping stones. They'll be reset on top of the brickwork, giving a level top surface, and then earth fill in behind to neaten up the sides of the lock. At the top end of the lock, parts of the gate recess have been broken down and chewed out to allow the brook to take its new route. We will have to rebuild that in probably modern materials to mirror the intact side, the northern side, and the lock will continue across a new aqueduct with the brook culverted underneath, and then a canal channel running parallel to the lock going straight through to the truncated canal on the other side. The canal itself will come through this bridge here and it used to head straight on towards the motorway, all infilled. The motorway itself is too low in relation to the canal, so we're going to take a hard 90-degree left turn where the dumper's going at the moment, and the compound where we're putting the spoil out of the lock is roughly the route of the canal, heading off on its new track, the missing mile, to get through the motorway and join up with the other intact part of the canal. In order to do that, on the other side of the compound here, there'll be a new lock, Westfield new lock, and this won't be known as Westfield Lock anymore. I said before it's going to be known as John Robinson Lock, thanks to a very generous bequest from the Robinson family in memory of John Robinson. So that's the funding for the lock sorted out. So into a new lock, falling by 1.6 metres, which will take the canal to the level that's required to get underneath the existing motorway bridge over the River Frome. And then the canal will share the channel with the river. Not joining the river, they'll be separated by a wall. The canal will be at a slightly lower level than the river, and that gives the headroom underneath the deck of the motorway bridge.
Thank you for watching. Please click that like and subscribe button. Click the bell button and you'll hear about my future videos.